Hello and welcome to another BrikFam video.
MeisterDad here, and welcome to episode 8 of season 1. In season 6, I started a bin, and as you may remember from that one, I discovered the 330, the Jeep from 1968, the 253, the helicopter and pilot from 1975, the 264, the Livingroom set homemaker from 1974, and the 653 ambulance and helicopter from 1973. Now, I wanted to finish the bin. I wanted to get through it, process everything that was there. I did not expect what happened with this. The incredible amount of detail that I had to put in to identify individual parts, and it surprised me to see how the age of the parts, the complete span, how varied everything was. It was mind-blowing, but I learned so much, and I can't wait to share it with you here. So let's get started.
This procedure is not guaranteed to work for you, and your results may vary. BrikFam will not be liable for any damages incurred by anyone trying this at home, and no warranties expressed or implied. Thank you.
Here we have the bin essentially sorted out into what I think are the sets that comprise them. I started with the most obvious, and that was the sticker sheet here. There's a little number, of course, on the bottom, and I just searched that up, and it yielded this set right here. This is set 939 from 1972. This is so detailed, so difficult, that I actually gave myself little indicators on how I'm going to go about this. This set here is largely complete. The stickers, generally, I think there's one flag missing. There's supposed to be 6 flags, and there's one missing. That's probably why the Italian flag fell off. The rest of the Italian flag is here. And of course, the rest of the flags are here. So whatever was on the Italian sticker sheet, that sticker sheet probably was one missing one. Anyway, so this is what I found here. Nothing too fancy. It comes with the flags and the signs there. There's a couple of broken bases, which may or may not be for those signs. I don't know, but this is all I can compile there. Moving on to the next set here. This is set 989 from 1969. This one I found because of the interesting stop sign right here. So I was able to get that. Again, I don't know whether these broken bases are for this set or for that one. A lot of the signposts are missing. The other obvious ones, of course, are the printed pieces, and I looked through the letters and the numbers. Basically, all I could find with that was the letters and numbers come in their own sets. They don't mix in with other sets that I could find, and so they're kind of just standalone. The letters here are standalone, the numbers are standalone. There's supposed to be multiples of them. So far, I only have the multiple of the O. Everything else is singular. This guy here gave me a lot of trouble, a lot of headache. Partly because this one has tubes and these two don't. So I had to settle on something, and I settled on 226, but I'm not convinced, mostly because of this tube here. These two guys would fit into 1958. Pretty sure this one wouldn't, although it is listed as part of the inventory for 226, and the picture showing on 226 has this form, but again, BrickLink back then may not be the most accurate, so it could be that these are all different sets. I don't know. Moving on, we have the 937 from 1973. This one was actually pretty easy to find because I have all these fence pieces. There's 18 fence pieces. I thought, why not do a search and see, which set has the most fence pieces in it? And it turns out that it's this one, 937, and I'm missing, I think, only one of these guys here. The other half of this yellow door, I think that's basically it. So this one was basically there, and that was very nice to find. Now, these guys, whew, I had to look up this part here. It's part I've never actually seen before. It has this double, or is it convex here and a concave there. and it's a 2x2 shape. So it was very interesting. This one doesn't come in a whole lot of sets, and it ended up just being kind of a service pack set, which was the 981 from 1969. I'll get to the narrow open O part a little bit later. And finally, oh sorry, I have 3 more sets to discuss here. There's this guy here, which is the garage door. This is a 235 from 1968. Now this set is this set's complete, but every piece in it is broken. So is it complete if every piece in the set is broken? Comment below. And next we have the shell station here. This one was, I thought, going to be obvious. Turned out no, it was not. There's only, I think, 4 sets that this piece is found in, and it was a nightmare to actually determine which one it was, because I also wanted to match with those guys, and these guys are in different sets from this one. This was kind of the only set that had both, and this one actually requires 3 of those. I only have 2. Also, one of the deciding factors for me was, yes, these tiles right here, these yellow tiles without groove. And so, as I mentioned in that other episode, if I found a set that, you know, needed those, I would pull them. If I come across a set later that requires 2 1x2 yellow tiles, I'll know that these are probably the ones for that set. And so here it is. Not much to this set in this bin. I couldn't really find anything that was more than this. So I'm still not sure that it could be that set, but I'll keep it as is for now. And finally we have, well, maybe not finally, but this one surprised me. This one, I had this tower of 2x4 plates here. They're all blue, and they all have the exact same mold number, mold pattern. I don't know if exactly, most of them have the same number even. And then this one had the same pattern as well, and these guys, and they all have the same stud marking, which was wide straight O, kind of. I'll get to that again later. And so I did another search, which one has the most 2x4 plates in blue, and it turned out that there's only 2 sets that have more than about 25, and that's the 324, and the other one was the town plan. Now I was super excited to think of the town plan, especially because I know the SO service is in there. But I didn't really find any other evidence to suggest the town plan is in here. A lot of the pieces that the town plan had in the inventory were not here. And so I kind of concluded that this is probably the most probabilistic set of this. And here I have, this is actually the gray version. That's supposed to be, I think it was white in the inventory, and the gray was alternate. So the pins are not sheared on this one, whereas in this guy here the pins are sheared off. You can see here they're supposed to be attached, but they're sheared off. And the other determining factor for that was I found this little guy here, and this was in that set, and so I was more or less decided that this is the set it probably came from. And finally we have the, what is it, 8x16 base plates, early base plates. The red one turns out to be a set into itself. I did a search for the gray one, I did a search for the green ones. Inconclusive. I really couldn't find any supporting parts to consider these to be, you know, part of a set. So maybe these are all standalones. I don't know. It seems like quite a few service packs were bought for the children that I bought this from. Well, they're not children anymore. It turns out that the lady I bought it from said that her kids were, at that time, I guess it was last fall, I think I may have mentioned this already, but they were 53 and 51. And so we're looking at sets that are, you know, 1975 and earlier. And I was surprised to see, again, 1964. That's, especially since I don't think it was a Canadian release. So that was surprising to me. Now, having said all of this, these are the sets that I've actually managed to find. Oh, there's one more back up here. This is the 5-3, so set number 5. It was kind of a basic pack, or a, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, basic pack. the reason I was able to determine this guy here was the white windows, the arch, the shutters there, and the door. So it kind of checked the boxes for all those parts. The arch was actually pretty rare in this period because it had the reinforced underside variant, and it was a pet pen. So I figured that's probably where this lies, and all these parts there are just the basic bricks mostly to fill that set out. Of course, they're not all there, but a lot of them are. There's a good, strong percentage of that. I'd say this set's probably 80% there, as it is right now. Now, the thing that really got to me was the studs, the different kinds of studs. So over here, I discovered these were all one stud type. All of those guys are different stud type. So this one is the narrow open O, the narrow open O again. So all of these are together, but this is a set. And then I have the block here, all 2x4s. This is the narrow round O. And then I have a small selection of these guys here, the wide round O on the top there, all 1x2s. The narrow straight O, that's the only piece with the narrow straight O that I could basically confirm. And this one doesn't really fit any of the categories, but it kind of looks like a round O, a little bit different. Back here, we have this one here, these guys, all these blue ones. They're close to wide straight O, but the O is more almost like a rectangle. So it's, again, a little slightly different, and I found that to be a little odd. But that also confirms that, you know, these are all different from the others, so they probably belong to the same set. This guy here, I really wanted this to be a service pack, but I couldn't find a service pack that contained all of these. And these ones are wide straight O's here. And then we have the modern messy ones. This is this whole strip right across the top here. All these are modern messy. And then we have what I call the modern clean. And those are all the guys that are up there. Now this set here was all modern clean. So that was, it seemed to me that the Samsonite molding process made this modern messy version. And because I have read and I have done research that show that Samsonite quality is a little bit lower, so their molds are probably more, I don't know, whether they wear out faster or the plastic didn't quite set properly, or I don't know what it was, but the variance that I found in just this pile of parts was astounding. And even with things like the windows here, these ones don't have glass, but if you look at these guys, they are different. I'll just bring it over here. You can see the shutters. One of them, just line it right up. Yeah, one of them is smaller than the other, or one of them is bigger than the other. Depends on how you look at it. So the shutters are different. And I found 3 of those ones and 4 of those ones. And then over here, this is just all the same glass. These are all supposed to take glass. These ones are supposed to not have glass. And that you can tell by that, even though there's holes in the top of the glass and the non-glass, you can tell because these have these little channels on either side of the windows for the shutters, and this one doesn't. This just glued right in there. Likewise for here. I'm guessing this is supposed to be for glass because there's no channels, but again, there's no shutters at all, so who knows. The only parts that, you know, I couldn't figure out why they're in here were these 2 tiles. No idea. They're just kind of orphans. Also that slope there, no idea why it's there. And finally, the tires. I did find some train driver tires. That's the ones with a little rubber on them. Any set that contains those come in a pack of 4, a set of 4. I only have 2. The other 2 down there, the big flanges, are the passenger car tires. Again, multiples of those. These guys are all here because they're blank. There's no stamping other than, of course, designating between driver and trolley. But these are blank inside. There's no stamping inside. These guys up here, they're all pat penned. Let's see if I can, yeah, obscura. You can see there maybe in the light. And these ones over here are all pat penned, not obscured. Finally, I discovered that some tires have kind of a bevel to them. I don't know whether that's even wear. It's possible. I mean, these are very, very old. They could have been running a really long time. So you can see the bevel there. And there's a stack of those. But these guys, this one doesn't have a bevel at all. Oh, maybe it does. Maybe they're all beveled. Maybe that's just the way they are. And then there's the regular tire there. So this is what I've managed to compile from here. This was an incredibly long process. I had to do a ton of research. I looked into, forums and other people finding these things, and I discovered some stuff that I couldn't explain, or that nobody else seems to have discovered, at least in my research. Please comment below if you have any insight into what I have said here, what is contained here. Of course, some of these obvious ones down here, the ones I started with, they're done. I'm not going to deal with those, but this guy here, the different mold types for the studs, incredible. I'm blown away by the sheer number of different stud types. And this was supposed to be a simple project for me, and it's taken me 2 full episodes to get through. I was putting this set away when I forgot to mention that the mold on the studs, all the different ones, are actually different. The blue ones are all the same. The gray ones here, though, have a mixture. And the windows have the narrow open O, which is the same as the one on the door, on the garage door. And I found that to be insightful, but also kind of terrifying, because it kind of ruins my hypothesis that the stud types and the mold types are uniform throughout. But again, this is 1964. Lego is fairly new at this. Perhaps they were manufacturing, different ways and different plants or whatever it was, and they were overlapping quite a bit, so it's very possible. Anybody who has the 324, please take a look at it. See if the studs are different. And if they are, please comment below. Let me know. I'd like to know whether I'm doing this right, or if I should be changing things, or whatever it is that you come across. I like to compare notes. Thank you. Thank you for watching this episode of the BrikFam. We at the BrikFam appreciate your viewership. We bid you farewell, and this is MeisterDad signing off.